All right, end of your mat here. Just roll your shoulders. Beginning of fall. Only 46 degrees out this morning. Good. Take a breath. Inhale up. Good. Squeeze your hands at the top. And exhale down. Do that again. Inhale up. Squeeze your hands at the top. So I'm kind of pushing my shoulders into my ears and then coming all the way back down. Roll your shoulders. Clasp those hands behind you and open the heart here. Good. If you feel like it, you can let your ears just go side to side. Good. Take a breath and soft fold down onto your knees. Good. So your rib cage is just kind of resting on your legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Try to be very rounded here. Good. Then bring the hands up to the thighs and drop the middle of your spine. Lift your tailbone, lift your head, and focus here on rolling those shoulders back away from your ears. Almost feel like you're pulling your shoulder blades down to the middle of your back. Good. Now roll everything up. Tuck the chin. Good. And come all the way up with a big breath. And exhale into prayer. Good. From here, take a step back. Try not to look where you're going. Step back and take a big breath into a high lunge. Good. Hold that high lunge. Good. From here, take a step straight up into chair. Good. So belly is tight here. Make sure the knees are not going past the toes. So really sit those hips back. Line up your toes, or your knees rather, with your toes. So we don't want to be like this. We also don't want to be like this. So together and together is fine. Apart and apart is fine. Good. Imagine you're on a pair of skis. Good. Now let's do that sweeping motion and come back with the left leg all the way up into that great big high lunge. Take a breath. So my right leg is already bent. All I've got to do is put weight into it and add my left. Let's go a little faster with that. Inhale, take the right one back. Big sweeping motion. Exhale. Then inhale, step forward. Exhale and chair. Inhale, left one back. Big sweeping motion. Exhale. Inhale, step in. Exhale into chair. Inhale, big sweeping motion. Exhale at the top. Inhale, step in. Exhale into chair. Inhale, left one back. Big sweeping motion. Exhale at the top. Inhale, step in. Exhale and chair. Now straighten those legs and dive to the floor. Ah. Good. Go ahead and bend your knees if you need to, but put your hands on the floor. Walk back to downward dog. Take some time here to push the heels down into the floor. And then take a moment to roll those shoulders down. Good. Drop your knees here and sit back into child's pose. Push the hips back. I'm going to take a moment to focus on your arms. Reach forward with the fingertips. Press the fingertips into the floor. And imagine sort of pulling your elbows in towards your head or towards each other. Good. You should feel that all the way up through your shoulder blades. If you don't feel that in your shoulder blades, try to press your heart forward or down a little more. And come all the way up into tabletop. Let's do that cat-cow again. Good. Up into your cat stretch. Good. Come down and roll yourself up onto your knees. Step forward with your left leg. Take your arms behind you. Now, you can clasp your arms. You can just put them on your hips. You can crisscross them, or you can reverse prayer them. Whatever feels good to you right now. There's not one that's better than the other. It's really how you're feeling. Good. Bring that leg back. And we're just going to take the other one forward. Just a simple stretch here. Can you almost feel like you're leaning back into your arms? But it's really not the spine, right? You're lifting the sternum here. Good. From here, just put your hands on the floor. Step back to downward dog. Get that stretch one more time and come forward into your plank. Take a breath. Chaturanga Up Dog. Good. When you get to the top of your up dog, roll your shoulders and really push those shoulders down toward the floor. Tuck your feet, back up into downward dog, and just slowly take your time. We're going to walk in to fold. Inhale, standing extension. So your legs are straight. Come up as high as you need to. Straighten your back. Inhale and exhale. Dive down over your hips. So see if you can lift the hips up and over your rib cage, rather, up and over your hips. Bend your knees, unhinge, and we're back up into mountain pose with a breath. Good. Now we're going to do all that again, but we're going to start adding in. So take a breath. Here we go. Big sweeping motion. Right leg goes back. Inhale on the way back. Exhale on the way up. Inhale, step in. Exhale into your chair. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale to the top. Inhale, step in. Try to keep those knees bent. Exhale in your chair. Right leg goes back. Exhale up. Inhale, step in. Exhale in chair. Left leg goes back. Exhale at the top. Inhale, step in. Exhale and chair. Two more. Back we go. Exhale up. Inhale in. Chair. And then left leg back and up. Inhale in and chair. Now bring those hands into prayer hands. Take your right elbow, turn your core, right elbow to the left knee. Good. Squeeze your legs together here. So you might want to move your feet. If your feet were apart, you might want to put them together now so that you can squeeze them. What we don't want to do is this. We don't want to set our feet apart as we do this revolved chair. Good, now you can stay here, or we're gonna add a little more rotation. So if you wanna add a little more rotation, first, take a breath, get in touch with your rib cage, lengthen your core. Good, first, take your top arm behind you. Good, I'm just setting my other hand on my shoulder. Good, you can stay there, or reach up and add a reach down. Check your knees. Good, put your hands on the floor. Step back with your right leg. Sink into your hips. Reach forward here. Now open up. Good, reach forward again. Turn your back foot and spiral up to warrior two. Good, check in with your core, with your breath. Good. So this reach with your arms, don't think about reaching out with your hands. Think about pulling from your shoulder and the arms just follow. We're going to inhale up, left hand. So that should be the one that's closest to the top of your mat. Goes to the back. Reach up with the other hand. Now, if you can drop in further here, do that. Good. Inhale, release the arms, bring your arms behind you. So now lift that heart again, squeeze your shoulder blades here. So you might feel like you're pressing your hips toward the side of your mat a little bit, and that is okay. We want that opening in the hip. Just make sure this front knee doesn't fold to the right here. It's going to stay right over your toes or right in the middle of your foot. Good, straighten your legs. Now kick that left hip away, the one that's been helping you so much, and come over into triangle. Get in touch with those ribs again. Feel that turn of the rib cage. Yeah, it's all in the rib cage. Everything else follows it. Now take your hand that's on top, turn your palm behind you. Right, so normally our triangle, the palm faces the way we're looking. We're going to turn that backward, then bring it way behind you. You can stop at your tailbone or see if you can get all the way to the opposite thigh. Good, breathe. Pull your top shoulder down toward your hip. And turn toward the top of your mat. Take a step back into your downward dog. Good. Take some time here in your downward dog to not just focus on your feet and your legs, but really take some time here to drop into the shoulders, push the pinkies down, pull the elbows in towards each other, and come forward into plank. Chaturanga Up Dog. Sit back. Child's pose. Find that long child's pose again. So we're sitting the hips back, reach the arms out, and then press the fingertips into the floor, maybe a little farther than you think you can. Then pull the elbows in towards each other. Good. Come up to your tabletop. Widen out your tabletop if you need to. We're going to thread the needle and we're just going to do one side. So I want you to take your left arm up and go through, thread the needle. Really focus on pushing your bottom hand, palm up, into the floor. Good. Now you can stay right here or reach forward even more with your hands. So I'm actually going to walk my fingers like a spider up above my head and push a little more with my bottom hand, turning just a little bit more. And you should feel that stretch in your bottom shoulder. Now, if it bothers your neck, you should not proceed. So if this is like you feel that potential, or always back off. So the next level, you've got to be active in your bottom hand. Come up with your hand that's above your head. Bring it behind your back. So just like we did in our triangle, and rotate. Good. Again, if that bothers your head, if you feel like you're pushing all the way through your head, first push down through that bottom shoulder a little more. Good. Bring your body back around. Place your hands on the floor, clasp your hands. Your head is going to go down onto the floor and then just gently roll the top of your head into your hands. Now we're not trying to push, just sort of let your body fall. Roll your shoulders down to your hips. Breathe deep into the back of your neck here. And roll out of that. Place your hands on the floor. Big inhale up into downward dog. Take an exhale and walk all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, standing extension. Get the ribs off your hips. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, lift your gaze. Big breath all the way up into mountain pose. Exhale those hands into heart center. Here we go with our big stepping back again. This time, let's start with your left leg or whichever leg you didn't start with before. Take a breath, step back, inhale. Exhale at the top. Inhale, step in, and exhale into chair. Big breath stepping back, using that mind's eye. Inhale, step in, exhale into chair. So we're using the proprioceptive neuromuscular function. So it's really letting your body do the thinking for you. You know where to step because your body's telling you where to step versus the visual cue of where to step. And back. And one more time. We're going to stay in our chair. You can see where balance is involved there, yeah? All right, bring those hands into prayer. Take your left elbow to your right knee. Find the length first. So if we try to bend over and we crunch the core and the ribs into the core, it's very hard to turn. We want to keep a long core as we turn. Ribs off the hips. Now there's a lot going on here. We've got our legs, we've got our core turning, the spine, the hips. Maybe this side, you feel like you can do better. Great, go farther. If you feel like you need a little less, that's okay too. The first thing we're going to do is take the top arm and wrap it behind us. Try to look up at the ceiling, but if that causes any neck strain, look down. It's totally fine to do that, or somewhere in the middle. Then if you want a little more, open up the top arm and the bottom arm. Keep those legs together. And bring it back down. Step back with your left leg and reach forward with your lunge. Lengthen the spine and then exhale and open. Reach forward again. Now turn the foot and exhale and come up to warrior two. Good. Bring your right hand up or the one that's at the top of your mat and grab the back. Good. You might just grab the back of your head. See if you can go a little further. Take your other arm up. Good. Keep the front leg bent here. Remember that your feet are like rectangles. Push through all four corners. Inhale, grab behind you. Open your shoulders. Yep, open the collarbone. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Drop your knuckles down behind you. And again, you should feel like you're pushing your hips towards the side of your mat, but watch this front knee. Don't let it cave to the left. And now straighten those legs. Inhale up. Push your left hip out. And we come down to our triangle. Really take some time to breathe this hip open. See if you can increase the space. Relax the space between your hip and your rib cage. Remember to stay light on your bottom hand. It can touch the floor. You're just not leaning into it. Good. And now with an inhale, turn your top hand, palm to the back. Reach behind you. Again, you can stop at your tailbone or see if you can reach to the other thigh. Now take your top shoulder and drop it down toward your hips. And turn toward the top of your mat. Step back to downward dog. Drop your knees. Sit back. Walk your hands out. And see if you can, once you get down, walk your hands out just a little bit further. Drop those elbows towards each other. Push the pinkies and all the other fingertips into the floor. And come up. And let's do that thread the needle. Inhale with your right arm up. And exhale, turn. Get that right shoulder on the floor. Pushing. Good. So right now my hand's just kind of in a push-up position. Reaching. Push down through your bottom hand. So this is one of those I know that you can go farther, but we don't want to go to the end position. We need to enjoy the journey to the end position. That's a good metaphor for life. So our next level, we're going to take that top hand, reach way above your head. Remember, you can always adjust the knees if you need to. And now we're going to take that top arm and wrap it behind us, just like in your triangle. Again, if it bothers your neck, don't do it. Good. Inhale and reach up with it if you want to. And then come back down. Place your hands on the floor, clasp your hands, head down, and roll into the back of your head. Really take some time to breathe into the back of your neck. Good. And set that down. Place your hands on the floor. Go up into downward dog. And then find your plank and Chaturanga Up Dog. Roll the shoulders back, press the top of the feet down. Tuck your feet, find that downward dog. And then take your breath with you. Take a walk all the way to the top of your mat. And inhale, standing extension, lift the ribs off your hips. And exhale and fold. Bend your knees, lift your gaze, and unhinge. Can y'all see him? That is about the cutest thing. All right, inhale up. Bring the hands into heart center. Good. Now you're going to step back to lunge. Then I want you to take your front foot, that should be your left, walk it toward the left side of your mat. Turn your right foot, toes toward the right side of your mat, and pull those hips around. So you're in a wider stance here. This is warrior one. So remember, warrior two, I should be in a line like this. Warrior one, I'm here. Good. First, let's take those hands behind us. Good. Take those hands straight up. Good. Now cross your hands. Grab your elbows. Good. Now pull your elbows back. Now, before we undo this, pay attention. Which arm do you have on top? Doesn't matter. I have my left one on top. Just know that so that when you get to the other side, you can switch. Straighten your legs and bring your arms behind you. Clasp those hands. Dive over the front leg. And once you get into your fold, add the arms up and over if you can. If you need the support of your hands down, please do that. Good. Bring your hands to the floor. Good. Take your left leg back to your right leg, and you'll be in a side plank. Find that straight line from the top hand down to the bottom hand. Push through your shoulder, create distance between the ear and the shoulder here. Here's your modification. Yep, a little lower, but no, it's not here. Nope, out in a big long plank here. Turn to plank. And Chaturanga Up Dog. Good. Sit back in your child's pose. Now leave your elbows on the floor. Put your hands together. Put your thumbs on the back of your neck. Press your shoulders downward toward your hips. Good. Release that. Roll up to your shins. Good. Take a breath here. Take yourself to your right. Right hand reaches for the back of the leg or the heel. Push your left hip forward. Reach up. Now, since we're focused on shoulders today, I want you to take your top arm, so that's your left. Reach it behind your head. Good. Now, stay right here or see if you can push both hips forward and look at the ceiling. Push your head into your hand. Good. Turn back first. Release your hand and then come up. We're going to step forward. Actually, let's do this. Go up to downward dog. Take your left leg up into three-leg dog. Step forward with your left and in with your right. Inhale, standing extension. Exhale and fold. Relax the shoulders toward the floor. Bend your knees, lift your gaze, unhinge. Bring the hands into prayer. Good. Now, step back with your left leg. Turn it toward the left side of your mat and walk that right foot toward the right side of your mat. Find your warrior one. Reach the hands up and remember where you were last time. So try to do the other way. Good. Squeeze your shoulder blades, elbows back. And now straighten. Take the arms behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down first. Dive over that front leg. Add the arms if you can or want to. And bring your hands to the floor. Step back to downward dog. I forgot to tell you to turn. So turn to your left shoulder down, right up into that side plank. If you had a shoulder injury or anything, just modify where you need to. Push your fingertips into the floor. And come to your plank. Chaturanga to up dog. Sit back in your child's pose. And then clasp the hands. Reach way forward with them. And take the arms, curl them up. Thumbs onto the back of your neck. Good. From here, roll yourself up. We're on our shins. Take a breath. Left arm to the left side. Push your hips forward. Hand can go to the back of your leg or to your heel or to your cat. Now take that top hand, put it behind your head, pull the elbow open. Exhale, push yourself around. Look at the top of the ceiling. Try to really pull that elbow open. Good, and release. Hands to the floor, lift to downward dog. Step or take the right leg up into three-leg dog. And step forward with your right, then your left. Inhale, standing extension, long spine. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, lift your gaze, and unhinge. Good job. Stretch or shake out your legs. And take a breath. Exhale, hinge and fold. And walk back to downward dog. When you're ready, lift that right leg again. And then put it under you for pigeon. Good. Sit up tall first, whatever position you decide on your pigeon. Good. Make sure you're pushing this back leg down. And exhale, fold. Now, if you're modifying like I am, I'm on my hip. Make sure that you are still trying to push this hip around. Good. Walk yourself up. Take your left leg, so that's the one behind you. Wrap it around. Now wrap it as far as you can. You can also push yourself up and then have a seat. So we're in cow face here. If you need to have a little bit less, take your bottom leg and just lengthen it out. But you want to try to stack the knees. Now we're all built a little bit differently. Your stacking is going to look different. That's okay. Good. Sit up nice and tall here. Good. Now reach over, looking over the edge of that cliff. Long spine. Good. Sit up tall. Now, whichever hip is lowest, it's probably your right one. So the leg that's under. Inhale with that arm up and reach up. Again, push through that arm with the back of your head. Sit up tall, roll the shoulders back. Inhale. Now exhale. Put the hands behind you. Push your heart forward. And there's a little hip press here. If you want to lift the hips up just a little bit, you can. You'll feel that in the hip. And release. Take your leg behind you first. Come back to downward dog. Shake that out, pedal that out if you want to. And when you're ready, bring your left leg up. Take your breath with you down to pigeon on the other side. Again, if you're modifying to the hip, you're still trying to get the top of your foot to the floor. Sit up tall. And walk up from there. Now take your back leg, probably your right one, bring it around. And again, you can go to half cow face, or you can even sit yourself up to get there. Cross those knees, stack the knees, and then sit back. Any stretching feelings? Great. Pain? Back off. Take a breath. Lean over, look over the top like you're looking over a cliff. Most of you have known me long enough that you know this always reminds me of my honeymoon when I actually looked over a cliff and saw naked people at the bottom. So take your foot or your hip rather, that's down. So the bottom leg, inhale up, reach it behind you, lift tall. Now bring those hands around, roll your shoulders open, lift your heart. You can just stay there, or if you can add the little hip push, do that. Good, and release. Take your feet out to the end of your mat. You're in my way. Good, bring those feet together. Take a big breath and forward fold. And walk your hands up. Now roll to your back. Feet flat on the floor. Good, take a breath. Lift into a bridge. Take a minute to let your shoulders drop into the floor. Push the hips up. Now you're going to take your left arm underneath you, palm down. Now don't put it up on your back. Put your forearm across your hip bones. So just above your tailbone. And release. It might even be the top of the start of your tailbone. Drop your bridge down onto your arm. Take a second to feel that left shoulder drop toward the floor. And when you're ready, take your right arm, bring it up around your head to your left ear or left side of the head, and then just gently pull your head on the floor to the right. Breathe into this long stretch between your left ear and your left elbow. Good. Release your head first. Lift into a bridge. Release your arm. Take your right arm, palm down, across the hips, and drop down onto that forearm. Release your lower back. Let the elbow and the shoulder fall. Feel that stretch. And now reach up with your left arm to the right side of your head. Pull your head on the floor to the left. Feel that stretch from the left ear through the shoulder to the elbow. And lift into a bridge. Release your arm. Good. Bring your legs up. Give them a hug. On an exhale, roll to one side. And then take your other arm in the opposite direction. So most of the time when we do this, the hand that's reaching out is about the height of our shoulder, right? It's about kind of in the same spot. So what I want you to do is very slowly go towards your above your head. So I'm taking my hand on the floor and I'm just dragging it upward. Now my shoulders are pretty flexible. I can get my hand almost, well, it's above my head. So maybe you just go from your shoulders to your eye level. That's okay too. Push your shoulders into the floor. Good. Now release that arm you just reached with. And I just want you to take it over to the side. So I'm taking my left hand rather, and I'm just going to place it on my right shoulder, roll onto my back. Good. Just kind of giving myself a hug here. And when you're ready, lift your knees. You're going to roll to the other side and extend the right arm out. And it's probably about shoulder height. And then just slowly drag the knuckles up the floor. So we're all going to look different doing this, right? Make sure you keep your shoulders on the floor. You're going to roll into your back. Take that right hand, bring it across to your left shoulder. Good. And you just kind of give yourself a hug here. Good. You can let your legs now relax together, or if you want to take them all the way out, you can. I want you to take your hands first, elbows to the floor, hands on your belly. We're just going to take 5 or 6 long breaths there. And then slowly let your arms drop down. And then see if you can turn your palms up. Of course, if any point, if you need to change positions, you can do that. This is your rest time. See if you can start your breath in the back of your throat. Take it all the way down to your belly. And of course, you're always invited to just stay at rest here. Or if you'd like, bring your knees in and just slowly roll to one side. Take a moment on your side. And then when you're ready, roll yourself to seated. And just let your head fall to one side. And then the other. Come to center. Take a breath. Bring your hands behind your head. Push your head into your hands. Open your elbows. Take a deep breath. And now just let your elbows come forward. Keep your posture. Let your chin fall to your chest. And release. Bring your hands down. Just let your shoulders be heavy here for a moment. And let's inhale again. And exhale. God bless you guys. Namaste. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Let me know if you have any questions.